Am I free to go?
I want my lawyer now.
I want a lawyer right now.
Mr. Nolan, it's for you.
My name is Patrick Nolan. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Missouri. This is Pat Talks Law.
Welcome back. 3 ways science impacts the breath test. A DWI defense attorney needs to understand science. We need to know different volumes of expelled lung capacity affected by different body temperatures at differing pressures will directly affect the number and density of ethanol molecules in a sample tested by a breath test machine. Look, Avagadro failed the breath test. Avagadro is best known for his hypothesis that different volumes of different gases contain an equal number of molecules, provided they're at the same temperature and pressure. His hypothesis was rejected by other scientists. It only gained acceptance after his death. It is now called Avogadro's Law. The man, by the way, was also a very successful lawyer. Avogadro's Law affects the veracity of every breath test conducted. The law states that equal volumes of all gases at the same temperature and pressure have the same number of molecules. For a given mass of an ideal gas, the volume and the amount of moles of the gas are directly proportional if the temperature and pressure are constant. Avogadro's law informs us that aside from volume, the 2 primary variables impacting every breath sample are temperature and pressure. Those 3 variables are different for every person taking a breath test, which means that every sample will be scored with different criteria. Let's take a look at these variables. Volume of the air in the sample. Keep blowing, blow, blow, keep blowing. You know, an officer in a breath test sounds like a cheering squad. And why wouldn't he? He's cheering for you to go to prison. It's all about the volume of air at that point. Now, many breath testing machines have what's called a pressure transducer to measure the pressure of your blow and thereby attempt to calculate a volume. But did you know that the pressure transducer is not an item checked during calibration or regular maintenance service on the machine? Very few law enforcement officers who have been trained on the machines even know what the pressure transducer is, and fewer still know where it's supposed to be on the machine. Now, a review of pressure transducers of 231 Floridas and Toxlider 8000s revealed that 40% of them record the wrong breath volume. Breath volume is a critical factor in determining blood alcohol content based on breath. Now, why is that volume so important? The breath test machines use either a fuel cell or an infrared cell. The infrared cell passes infrared energy through a sample and measures the unabsorbed energy. Ethanol absorbs infrared energy, so the software calculates the difference between the starting and the ending amount, applies a formula known as Henry's Law, and then issues a number. Henry's Law states that in a closed system, at a given temperature, the concentration of a volatile substance in the air above a fluid is proportional to the concentration of the volatile substance in the fluid. This is described as the partition ratio. The average temperature of breath as it leaves the mouth is 34 degrees Celsius. At that temperature, research used by breath testing companies demonstrates that 2,100 milliliters of deep lung air contain about the same quantity of alcohol as 1 milliliter of arterial blood. Accordingly, breath alcohol instruments calculate the amount of ethanol per 210 liters of air, and they are testing for 0.08 grams of ethanol in 210 liters of air. Ironically, research shows this partition ratio to be inaccurate in calculating blood alcohol levels. Dr. Michael Stalia of the University of Washington School of Medicine found that the average directly measured partition coefficient for alcohol in blood at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit is 1,756 to 1, not 2,100 to 1. He also discovered that blowing a volume beyond the minimum required for breath testing device results in an increased breath alcohol reading and a lower blood to breath partition ratio. More volume, lower partition ratio, higher breath alcohol result. You got me under pressure here. Pressure affects a breath test in several ways. As mentioned above, pressure is one of the constants required under Avogadro's law. Second, changing pressure results in temperature changes. Finally, a higher pressure blow, especially toward the end of your lung capacity, significantly increases the chances of expelling droplets of spit or condensed vapor as a result of rapid cooling from pressure changes between the lungs and the machine. Colder air cannot support the same humidity levels. First, the volume of gas, 210 liters, will have the same number of molecules at the same temperature and pressure. When you change the temperature up and down, you also change the volume and the number of molecules within that volume. The amount of ethanol being searched for is so minuscule that even a small increase in number of molecules in the sample can have a big impact on the results. Remember, as we move into the temperature section, that nothing in the system acts independently. A change in temperature must either affect volume or pressure. An increase of only 1 degree Celsius, 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, can increase test results by 7%. Dr. Estalia first stated the possibility of 7% increase in breath alcohol test results in '85. His findings, the partition ratio of alcohol in blood is affected by the actual body temperature compared to a normal body temperature. A healthy individual may fluctuate 1 degree Celsius, 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, from the average 37 degrees Celsius that people have. Now, those of us that are from humid places like Missouri, Florida, we understand that with heat comes humidity. The warmer the air, the greater amount of moisture it can absorb. Think about the dry winter air up north and the Everglades in the summer. Temperature and humidity, as a result of that temperature, can significantly affect the 38 millionths of a gram of ethanol per milliliter they need to prove you're over the limit. That's 38 millionths of a gram. Now, the difference between Henry's law and Dr. Estalia's research is Henry's law is based on partition ratio of 2100 to 1. This is the formula used by breath testing machine makers. As we learned, Dr. Estalia placed that ratio more accurately at 1756 to 1. At 2100 to 1, legal limit of 0.08 requires 38 millionths of a gram of alcohol. At 1756 to 1, the legal limit of 0.08 equals 45 millionths of a gram. The difference between the 38 and 45, 10 millionths of a gram. Okay, that means the machine is testing 17% higher than your breath result actually is. You add in a slight increase in body temperature of 1 degree, and your breath test result is 24% higher than it actually is. And there's no way to account for the difference due to an increased or reduced lung capacity. Other than we can say that is going to be at least a variance of 1% either way. So your breath test may be inaccurately reporting your breath alcohol, your blood alcohol, by 25% higher than it actually should be. Now, this is something that you now know because of science. Please hit like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you know when we're putting out our next video. Thank you for watching.